So I don't know if I'm sure you were watching. There's no better time than the present than to get into what happened over the weekend. We got a slew of things to talk about.
We're live?
We are live.
Oh, okay, cool. So, welcome back to the Legends Clubhouse. I am Bobby Kaboose on this Manic Monday, always with Lawson Turner. What's going on, man? How
Bro,
was your weekend?
my weekend was it was amazing. We had the Royal Rumble on Saturday, and last night I went to the casino, and we can get into that later because we had a grand old time to start, and then we got slapped.
All right. Yeah. Friday went to a buddy's house because my other buddy was in town. So we all got together, had some drinks,
Mhm.
watched Michigan destroy Michigan State in basketball on Tom Izzo's birthday. So we were not happy campers because most of us were state. It's funny because like all three guys are state fans and all three women are Michigan fans. So that was pretty, house divided. Um, and then I was a little hungover for Saturday morning. We polished off a fifth of Rumplemints as well as a
Oh,
group
wonderful!
on Friday night. I don't know if you ever had Rumplemints.
No.
Okay, well, Rumplemints taste like Christmas in your mouth. I'm assuming if you sucked off Santa at one point, it would probably taste like that.
Just giant candy
But
cane.
yes, and it's strong shit. So, so Saturday woke up with a little bit of a hangover. Couldn't really drink during the Rumble, so I partaked in the THC. And then yesterday was what did we do yesterday? Oh, yesterday we wrapped up filming promos for our Rumble on Saturday. We're only 6 days,
Nice.
and so this week I'll be busy creating characters on the game and finalizing all this stuff for that on Saturday. But yeah, man, it's Monday. I slept in until about an hour ago, which is very unlike me these days. So I
Early
was
riser.
fucking yeah, I was fucking out of it this morning. So,
Hmm.
um, but I just had some Taco Bell, so if I do have to run during the show, you know why.
When you gotta go, you
Um,
gotta go.
I'll be back. But yeah, man, what do you want to start with?
I mean, the Rumble, obviously. It's just, I feel like overall, and if you want to do an he's getting into it.
Yep.
He's fighting.
Wrong, wrong piece of bed furniture to lay on. But anyway,
Nice. So yeah, if you want, we can give our initial thoughts, and then go, one by one if you want. So my initial thoughts overall, I thought the Rumble was a flop.
like the whole PLE.
The entirety of it was just like, I just felt like they were 18 blown opportunities. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a 4.
Okay. I would give it a little higher. I'd probably go with like a 6, but like I will admit, like I hope that this kind of opened up their eyes to like be like, okay, we don't have to go to Saudi that often because
Hmm.
it seemed like there was nobody in the crowd for the women's rumble, and we all know how they treat women over there. I think they're now just able to drive. I think that just passed recently, so shout out to the women there that can now drive a vehicle. But there was like nobody in the crowd for that. It sounded like a lot of pumped in, um,
Crowd music.
react crowd
Yeah.
noises. Uh, so I kind of hope I mean, casuals, everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar dollar bill, y'all. So,
Right.
I'm assuming that they'll still be going to Saudi, but I hope they kind of opens their eyes up and be like, the crowd is fucking dead. Um, I feel like the biggest pop of the night was Brie Bella, which doesn't make any sense to me because not only is she the shitty Bella, but she's like completely overrated and botches everything. So but yeah, man, I as far as the entire card, as far as like the winners, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, like both. I think Liv Morgan was the absolute favorite for the women's.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of saw that coming. Roman, I mean, at least he didn't get booed out of the stadium, and he didn't need The Rock's endorsement, right?
All right. So yeah, like I guess we can start with the women's, and I feel like it's a lot, or not a lot. It's more difficult to do like your surprise entrance because there's not a lot of. Obviously, there are a lot of women wrestlers that paved the way, but it's
Yeah,
like at a certain point, who are you gonna bring back? I mean, the one shock was Brie, and like it
yeah,
was, and like it was cool. I kind of, I think I texted you. I kind of had a feeling when Nikki came out and she had the number two on. I was
yeah.
like, okay, well, that's kind of writing on the wall. Bree's gonna come out and have number one.
hmm Yeah, and what I just thought of too is with it being in Saudi, like how many surprises can you actually have? I mean, who's going to
Yeah, that's true.
travel there versus somewhere in the United States or Canada?
Hmm.
To get like so the Royal Rumble especially, I think needs to stay domesticated, just so you can have those surprise entrances because it's a lot easier to travel to, say, Virginia than to Saudi Arabia.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
I
But yeah,
mean,
man, well, before we even get into everything, I mean, we took a little bit of your virginity over the weekend of joining our gambling Royal Rumble.
I have an
How
issue
was
with
your
this.
experience?
Not. I'm about to. You know what? I'm going to do this live on Legends Clubhouse. Where's our text? Here's my gripe. So I was super excited because once again I asked on Friday if I could get in, and you initially told me no. So I was like, oh damn, that's kind of annoying because I want to get in on the fun too.
Yeah,
So
so back up a little bit. The reason I said no was because usually we have five or six guys and it's evenly
right,
numbered. We did have a situation in the past where actually the guy that one of them last year, his brother was getting married, but like he's one of the OGs in the group, so
right,
like we let. So like, I was I had to get it,
approved
confirmed with all the guys,
approved by the
and
council. Yeah,
yeah. And two, we got to make sure that we have as even as numbers as possible. Like, there's been a couple years where we had seven guys, and so like everyone would get four guys, and then two people would get an extra. But this year, we actually only had four people attend, so you made our fifth, so it worked out perfectly.
booyah. I was gonna say, and if we needed an extra guy, I could have made a couple calls to see if we needed an extra guy. So for the women's rumble, I'm about to give peek behind the curtain and give you guys my numbers. This is how it just like not to get too vulgar. For a cuck scene, I was in the chair. The numbers I had for the women's: 1, 2, 4, 10, 12, and 13. Like, are you shitting me? Now, I'm mad at the numbers. I wasn't mad at who I got per se, because,
Yeah, I
dude,
was gonna say tell 'em who you got because you had probably four of the five top women in the Rumble.
dude, the right when the rumble started, right, and all I hear is bow down to the queen. I'm like, hell yeah, bro! I got one of the favorites. That's fucking sick. And then next comes Alexa Bliss, and I'm like, okay, I can see them making to the final eight. And then I'm like, oh shit, what jobber's gonna come out at four? Nia Jackson's. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dog. And it's funny because I called my dad before and I told him that I told him about the bet and I told him I got it. And he was like, well shit, you better hope Nia Jax comes out in those first two. And I was like, got her at four, even better. Only problem is Charlotte dumbass eliminated her friend and my Samoan beast. And I was just like, damn dude, are we for real? But I don't know. I didn't know who Soul Ruka was. That bitch is fire, dog. Whatever her soul snatcher move, where she runs up the corner, does the front flip, and catch them in a cutter. That might be the
Yeah,
greatest move I've ever seen.
dude. Apparently, she's part black too. Did you know that? We had like one of our buddies said that. We were like, no fucking way. And he looked it up and like, yeah, she's got some
Oh, for
black
the side
descent
pot,
in.
for the side pot.
Yeah, yeah,
That's dude. That's fucking nuts because like when she got top three, I was like, okay, I'd be first of all, and the surprise. Well, outside of Brie, I was when Tiffy Time came out at 30. I was like, oh, there's your winner. There's your winner.
Yeah,
She's gonna come in, and that's how you immediately propel her back into title contention. But
we
like,
all expected we all expected it to be Bianca Belair at 30. I
yeah,
completely forgot about time because like even like Instagram, like I saw like Tiffy Time, prior, showing off her gear.
yeah.
But yeah, pretty shocked. I had number 30. I actually think I had number 30 in both Rumbles, which
Yeah,
was nice.
which is cheating, we'll we'll get into the men's, later. But yeah, overall for the women's, and it was great that I got in on the bets because it's super exciting, and it's really the luck of the draw per se. But once again, if you guys ever do any more things like this in the future, I would love to get in because it's super fun and exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, I ended up winning the women's rumble with number 14, Liv Morgan. When she came out, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" It was the one right after your back to backs,
Yeah,
and you know, probably they were probably two losers. Well, they were two losers because Liv won. Um,
I think
but
I
yeah,
think Soruka came out at 13.
yeah. So I had Liv and I had Tiffy time, so that was
Yes.
nice to have too.
Hmm.
And I was like, you know. Um, But yeah, man. So Liv Morgan, she eliminates Raquel. There should be some storyline there. I'm curious if they're gonna be kicking her out of the Judgment Day or how they're gonna do that. I think Raquel's got a title match coming up, um, unless she already had it.
That'd
But
be really interesting.
that'd be it'd be interesting if she won the title over Stephanie Vaquer, and it would be Raquel versus Liv at Mania. Um, but it's looking like Vaquer and Morgan, at Mania, and then probably on the other side, Jade Cargill and Bianca going at it. I would
Hmm.
think that, or I don't know when Naomi's scheduled back to. Well, she probably had a baby, or I don't know if she's got a baby yet, but I don't know. I don't know when you can have a baby and then go back to the ring. I don't have to worry about that.
Right. But
So
yeah, for for the women's rumble, I guess it was more. I was interested because obviously it's the Royal Rumble. I want to see surprises. Like I wanted to see um Trish Stratus, just to make her not yearly appearance, but it seems like once a year she'll just come in on a Raw or a SmackDown or something.
yeah. Yeah, I was hoping that, we could see more, but like I said, man, with the Saudi, are you gonna take a phone call from WWE and be like, you need to, can you travel out to Saudi for anywhere from a 30-second to a 10-minute spot, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
I didn't even
I'm
think
guessing it
about
would be
that.
a nice payday, but that's a lot of travel for just that little amount of time.
Right.
Um, so yeah, man. Liv Morgan goes to WrestleMania. Fucking AJ Styles is done, or at least it seems
I have a
that
pro-
way.
I have a slight like, do I have a problem with how the match ended? No, this is kind of what I assumed. I have a problem because this is where the awkwardness and confusion comes in. Because he goes to take his gloves off, and it's the entire sad, damn, AJ's
Mhm.
done. And then he puts it on and does his shit, and gets on the second, rope in the corner and does his thing, and it's like it's now just kind of awkward. Like, well, it's the your career was on the line, but it kind of didn't end that way. I don't know if it was another like just get the crowd into it, but normally whenever you see things like that, it's like when Cena retired, he took everything off but the jorts. When
Mhm.
Undertaker quintessentially retired, quote unquote against Roman, he left his his hat and his shit in the ring. And
Mhm.
when he was taking his gloves off to put on the ground, I was like, "Damn, that's gonna be his moment where it's just like it's over." But when he put him back on and got the crowd hype again, I'm like, "Well, it doesn't seem like the end, but it's
I
the end."
wonder. I wonder if he's gonna do a little run like in like TNA or like New Japan. I doubt he goes to AEW,
Yeah.
but somewhere that he may have been before. But I was, dude, we were expecting him. We were like saying, like, what is he going to come out either in the Rumble or when Gunther came in at 30? Is he going to come out and cost Gunther? And then Gunther would be like, "Well, fuck you. I want one more match or something. I already killed your career, but I'll fight you again or just
Something
whatever."
along those lines, yeah.
I was hoping that, a TNA representative would have came out, they would have had a backstage segment and they, handed him the contract and he's like, well, he's a TNA guy, sign it,
That
enter
would
the
have been cool.
Rumble, win the championship as a TNA superstar. I thought that would have been cool.
Hmm.
But again, it's to me, it's weird that you do that in Saudi. It's weird that like because you just don't get the fan reaction. Like you just like okay, like these are the same people that like at one point when they first made this deal wanted like Macho Man there, and he's been dead for like 10 years at the time or whatever. Um, so, who knows if they actually pay attention to who's on the roster and who's who.
Hmm.
Because that first like 20 rows is just like businessmen, princes and shit that don't give two fucks. That's why they don't cheer or don't do anything. They just wear their headdresses and sit there and be rich, and watch a product that they probably have no idea what the hell's going on.
Hmm. I don't know. I think that like obviously, chase your bag, WWE. I get it. The only instances which that these not need to take place. But you brought up a good point earlier that I hadn't considered about the travel, where it's like, okay, how many, legends in their 60s that could come in
Yeah,
for a 4 minute spot are gonna make that long travel and then get
right.
ready and then I'm sure because they've done the character for however long, get in a character and all that jazz for once again a 4 minute spot.
Right. And to me it was also weird that it was in the middle of the day for us.
Yeah.
Like the time went by fast, but like I was just like, dude, like this is weird, like, ending at 5 o'clock or whatever
Mhm.
time they end. Um and just being like, oh well, we still have the rest of the night to do stuff. But
They've had
um
certain the UFC has had certain cards where they're on that side of the world and I'll completely forget. And one of my buddies will be like, "Oh my god, did you see the ending of that?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot it was on."
yeah.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, man, like I said, it's kind of weird. I'm wondering what is next for AJ Styles, if anything. I know his contract is, I think, up this month.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering if he's going to come out on Raw and like, talk at all tonight. Um, and if he's going to go somewhere else. I could totally see him going to TNA for a little bit of a run because of their new show on AMC or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Thursdays. But who knows?
Yeah.
Do you
It's
think that's the last time we see AJ Styles in a wrestling ring?
in a wrestling ring, probably not.
Same.
He'll cut like even if he doesn't wrestle again, which he looked great.
Hmm.
Like for someone his age, to be able to pull off his with his in ring ability, like you can make an argument like he's one of like the most well rounded wrestlers like ever, and so,
Right.
and so like even with his years of experience, I think even if he comes back for a promo like if he comes back for a promo in TNA or makes a surprise appearance in New Japan because those two places are where he really defined and refined who AJ Styles was and is. I could see him making like a surprise spot.
Yeah. I think he might be like the most underrated wrestler like of all time.
Yeah.
Like he should be, I'm not sure if he's gonna make many people's like Mount Rushmore or
Hmm.
whatever. But he's like, if you have a top 10 of like all time wrestlers, like he's damn near in that top 10, or he's just hovering right above it as an honorable mention.
Hmm.
He is that good. He's no pun intended,
Phenomenal.
but phenomenal ring. Um, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves a lot of times, even though that's weird to say because like people do notice that he is one of the greatest in the world. Um, but he just like you never hear him talked about like on the same level as like Cena or you know top guys. But if he was in WWE the entire time, he probably would be. I mean,
Hmm.
it's probably a little bit of a slight because he was in New Japan and made a huge name for himself there, and you know he was the face that ran the place, the house that AJ Styles built in TNA. Um, and he probably doesn't get the credit that he deserves because TNA's financial problems and shit that just them
Went on back
basically
then, yeah.
yeah basically going under and getting revived. But yeah, I mean it is what it is. As far as his career, we'll see if he's on Monday Night Raw and see what's going on next. With the Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre match, I think I'd probably speak for everyone that I don't think anyone thought Sami Zayn would had a shot and he didn't. Um,
No.
there was a mention in my one of my buddies because you know. Sami Zayn's like Muslim or whatever. He was like, there was thoughts of him putting him over in Saudi. I think if that happens, it'll probably happen next year at WrestleMania in Saudi. And him winning his first championship and renaming it WrestleZania and go from there if he's gonna pull like a Mick Foley type spot or a Kofi Kingston type spot where it's a huge deserve. I don't know if it's deserving, I guess maybe, but a huge spot for him to win the world title because of his longevity and all that. And if they play it right, they should have Kevin Owens come out right away and powerbomb him on the apron like they did in NXT.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that match specifically, once again, kind of like you said, and everybody kind of thought, like this is just a spot match. Like
Hmm.
you can't really have a PLE without like a title match per se. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we're gonna have, and it it wasn't a squash, but I thought that like Drew was kind of in firm control for the majority of it. So
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is on that one too.
right.
No one watches the Royal Rumble for the matches.
No,
There's
we
only
want the
a
Rumble.
handful of yeah, there's only a handful of matches that happened at the Royal Rumble that aren't the Royal Rumble that people talk about, like Cactus Jack and Triple H in 2000.
Hmm.
But there's not many more that people actually remember or recognize. But going to the men's Royal Rumble, there's a couple surprises. I kind of called Mr. Iguana being in it.
His whole
Um,
spot was awesome.
Yeah, we got to see the debut of Powerhouse, Royce Keys. Obafemi had a good performance. We're,
That dude's a monster, and
dude,
once again, if they fumble him, I'm damn near out on creative because I saw a like how some people don't make like fan made promos and mixes of like whether it be athletes movies and stuff like that. Someone made one of those on him like maybe 2 years ago. After he had a little bit of had a little bit of time in NXT. It might have even been last year, and I was like, I don't know what. There's not a definition as to what it is, but he's got it. He's got the look.
yeah,
He's got the flair. He's got the crowd. He's got the pop. He's got it. It seems that he is almost as flawless currently, and everyone's just waiting to see like, okay, what show is he on to pick what champion he's gonna destroy.
right. And it started off with a bang with him coming in at number one, and then with number two, I forget who had number two in our Rumble, but they were like, "Hell yeah, Braun Breaker!" And then he gets attacked by a masked man, which I've heard everything from somebody in the Vision to Dean Ambrose to
I saw Jake
oh,
Paul this morning.
yeah, yeah. So curious on
Dean would
who
be
the
sick.
is his contract up in AEW?
I have no idea, and I didn't even think Dean, but people are saying that because of how he did like the head Turk curl thing. Yeah, but I don't know. It's so interesting because once again, you have one masked man, and then he did the curb stomp, so everybody's gonna think, "Oh, he did Ron's
Yeah.
move." Is he, whatever? And it's like, no, because when you really look, he turned and bro had, like a not a ginger beard, but somewhat of a lighter hue color.
hmm Yeah, and so he gets attacked, gets thrown out right away. Probably one of the favorites to win. I've even heard like Austin Theory might have been the guy again. Like, just I'm like that doesn't make any sense, but if they're gonna pivot away from something, I guess. But it was interesting that he got out right away like that. Oba kind of went on a little tear at the beginning. Um, I didn't mind the build up, and then obviously you get your heavy hitters in there with Brock and Roman and Cody. And I'm just glad that Cody didn't win, by the way. Um, Gunther, I thought when Gunther came out at 30, we all thought Gunther was gonna win.
Mm,
Um, and I was kind of hoping that he was gonna win because I had number 30.
yeah. The thing with me, and here was like one of my biggest reasons to why I flop. Like, you have Oba and Brock, the new, the new destroyer against the Beast Incarnate, and they had like their little face-off moment, but everybody kept interrupting it. You like that was a fumbled spot. Like they could have done so many. Like that eventually has to be a thing
Hmm
because that would have been a great spot to have Brock not well, if I remember correctly, I think Brock did end up eliminating Ova, but like there's your quintessential, okay, this could be the start of something where they just beat the shit out of each other, and then eventually one eliminates the other, which ended up happening. But like that opportunity was missed. I think right after Oba got eliminated, two people, 2 instants later, Jacob Fatu came out. And so it's like, okay, well, you could have had those three, beasts go at it, and then Roman. Actually, I think it was Roman came out 2 inches later, and then Jacob Fatu came out, and it's like, dude, you could have had Brock, but Roman Reigns, and Jacob Fatu all in the ring at the same time,
Yeah.
and those are all giant names who love them or you hate them. They have pull. It would have been awesome to see the powerhouses go at it for a minute, and then with Braun getting eliminated in the middle of a fucking Jey Uso entrance. That shit pissed me off so much because I'm like, it's like when Nicole Jokic got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. Like, what? Like, are we serious? Jay already can't find the fucking entrance. He's walking through all 80,000 or however many people were there, and he's taking his his happy time. And Brock gets eliminated. All you hear is day one. It's just me, oos. And I'm like, so there's no like, because I remember when eliminating Brock was a big thing. Now it took
Yeah.
Cody and LA Knight to do it, and then Brock's just staying. What I really thought was going to happen, because Brock's just standing outside of the ring, walking around, and Jay gets on the apron. I thought Brock might jump up on the apron and pull him out.
Yeah, well, we were wondering if Brock was good and just beat the shit out of Jay and just
Right.
through a table, like just fucking absolutely destroy him outside the ring. What I would either rather had that or when he ran it back with Roman, if he would have just got on the second rope and
And
Roman
Roman
just
would
pushed
just.
him over.
That's what I thought was going to
And,
happen.
yeah, and been like, dude, like, what are you doing? It's a rumble. Like, I was glad that he, punched him in the face.
That
Um,
was awesome.
but then nothing else happened. Like, then they started working as a team and shit. So it was like, okay, whatever. But
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, overall thoughts. Like, are you cool with Roman winning? Like, he's probably
It's
gonna be facing CM
Punk.
Punk,
Yeah.
I guess.
Him and Punk, the promos there will feed families. That's just gonna be awesome. The
Yeah.
thing for me though, it's like there was no, and you don't have to build up every Rumble winner. There was kind of no build up for Roman. The thing that he shit on creative earlier in the week, and
Hmm.
it's like,
So
well,
we were talking about this while you bring that up.
yeah,
And sorry to interrupt, but we
no,
were
you're good.
talking about this. Do you think that he was shitting on creative because they had him winning, or do you think he shit on creative and then they put him in to win?
I mean, the only time you shit on creative is like like it's got to be an inside job, right? We don't know.
Because like my personal thought is I think he knew he was winning and he shit on creative and was like, dude, I don't need
to
to win this.
to
Like,
build it up.
you know, put somebody else over type thing. But, on the other end, he could have been like, dude, like, what are they doing? They're not making any stars. And then they're like, well, he called us out. Let's just put him
Yeah.
in the mix.
What's even more
Because
funny, and oh, continue.
when he lost the title, like he was building solo, he was building some other people that they could have pushed, like LA Knight and stuff, and they could have gotten them into the main event picture, and they just didn't.
Hmm. And really
Like,
quick to peek behind our Royal Rumble draw, about an hour before the men's Rumble, I texted you, go ahead and draw number 26 for me. And you texted me back, you got 29. Guess what number Roman came out at?
29? Oh wait,
20
you
fucking
lost.
6. And right when that happened, and I saw Roman come out, I was like, I had a funky fucking feeling, huh? That I texted
I don't
you an hour before the Rumble started. Go ahead and draw me number 26. And he fucking won. That shit. Now, I had some pretty good names too for the men's. Like I got like Rey Mysterio at 4. I don't he wasn't gonna win, but cool name. I got Cody and LA Knight like back to back, and then I got my boy Randy at 29. And when Gunther came out, I was looking around. I'm like, well, it's gonna be interesting to see because I'm like, you have Mr. Plot Armor, Cody Rhodes. Randy's in there, LA Knight's in there. Once again, just looking from my guy's perspective, trying to build up. Okay, could I see this? And when Gunther was about to eliminate Cody and he was about to pull himself back up, and Drew McIntyre fucking came out and hit him with a claymore to screw over Cody again. I was like, damn, that sucks for me. And back to back rumbles, I finished last 3, and I'm like, dude, yeah, only fucking me, dude. But I don't know. Overall, I thought like for Roman, obviously it's Roman Punk. Like it's
know.
what are they gonna have? Roman. I would think they would have Drew carry the title to Mania.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I would think that they're gonna carry both champions all the way through. I'm guessing that the Elimination Chamber will be the women's title, versus the instead of the men's, just so they
Hmm.
keep it on, or they do what they did last year and they're like, okay, well, number one contender, when Cena won and turned heel, they'll could have Cody win the Elimination Chamber to go face Drew McIntyre, which that seems to be the match.
Hmm.
I've heard rumors I'm adding Jacob Fatu into that too as a triple threat, which would be kind of cool. And if they do that, I feel like Jacob Fatu is going to win,
Hmm.
because why else would match? But um, it's I'm not mad about Roman winning. I because I think it was a little less predictable than just having Cody win or whatever. I guess Roman was probably in the top 3 of favorites, top 4, but when you have them, as long as the Money in the Bank winner is not like a guy that really needs it, like Seth Rollins doesn't need to be the Money in the Bank winner. Like he's got
No.
enough credit to go get a title shot. If you got to give the Money in the Bank to guys like LA Knight or Jacob
I,
Fatu or
I
someone that
I got
is
one.
coming up.
What happened to the days where fucking Damien Sandow would win the Money in the Bank? These just damn near randos, and then every time you try and because if I remember correctly, he was the first one that cashed in and lost to Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, overall, it was okay. It's always my favorite event of the year, so
Yeah.
uh, I can't complain too much.
Hmm.
Would I have liked to see, someone mid to upper card win? Yes, but I'm okay with Roman winning his second. Like it's been 11 years since he won his first.
Hmm.
He's one of those guys that should have two wins. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of story him and Punk want to tell. Both
Yeah.
former Pain guys.
Uh-huh.
So get the belt back in the bloodline. I think Roman wins at Mania. I think they put him back on top. So
Maybe
we'll see.
maybe this is how Punk main events Mania for real this time.
Yeah, it is because Roman's got more main events than anyone in WrestleMania history. WrestleMania, unfortunately, and this, I debate back and forth because you look at WrestleManias in the past, and you obviously start with the very first one where there's a bunch of celebrity. They use all their big names in the main event and stuff, and because I feel like the last couple years or probably the last decade or so, it's like they just want the biggest names on the card and
Hmm.
they don't really care about the story too much because WrestleMania, obviously, people know it's the Super Bowl of wrestling. And like the Super Bowl, you get a lot of casual viewers versus actual fans. So I think, the name Roman Reigns it pops more because he's a huge star versus like an LA Knight where you're like, okay, if you're a wrestling fan, you really like LA Knight, but no one outside of wrestling has ever heard of LA Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, though, but
So
I don't know. Like, it's just it's interesting because once again, this just immediately puts. Now, I'm not saying Roman is not was not in title contention, but Roman's just immediately in the main event spot again. And once again, not a problem because for as much as Roman got so much shit and he carried like the COVID era and stuff like that, Roman just he's a cool character and he's really because I remember when he was just the muscle of the Shield, and then it's like okay, well, will he works solo by himself or anything like that? And he's kind of built into where he's kind of almost mastered like what it is to a T.
yeah, but the some of the issues with the Rumble though, that I've read and I kind of agree with are were like there was no Wyatt Six members, there was no MFT members. Like I feel like they could have added some spots, or not add some spots, but manipulate a little bit for these factions that didn't get represented.
Hmm.
Um,
The,
Again, I think the 40-man Rumble would be way a lot better just to add
10
10
more guys,
guys.
yeah. There were a lot of factions in the women's,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I
I had EO Sky.
nice.
Dude, I had EO live and Tiffy. Outside of you, I think both of us had the best like as
Hmm.
far as maybe not your numbers, but the contenders that you got, I think
Right.
me and you combined for the best ones.
Yeah, and
Um
like with for the men's, I think you had like the whole vision besides Ron Breaker,
yeah.
which is hilarious. Oh, and green shirt guy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know I don't know when this clip was, but I saw Logan Paul getting into it with a green shirt guy. Once again, I don't know how old the clip was, but it resurfaced over the weekend, and like Logan's out there by the barricade, and he said, "Oh, it's you. What you couldn't afford the seats on the other side? You're on TV this time." And I'm like, "Don't leave green shirt guy alone, man.
Leave green
Leave."
shirt alone. But yeah, so that wraps up our Rumble.
Hmm.
Rome, obviously probably headlining against CM Punk, but you had something else on our little ticker over there
Yeah,
with Eli Manning getting a little bit of snub from the Hall of Fame, correct?
you think it's a snub?
I don't. Well, no, I'm asking a little bit of a
Oh.
snub. I mean,
He's
a
not.
two-time Super Bowl winner.
He's
The
not in
doing
my
anything?
Not in my Hall of Fame.
Okay. I'm
I
just
think Right. My thing with I hate that this being with the who makes and doesn't make the Hall of Fame. I hate that it gets leaked early. Well,
Hmm.
it's because when it gets announced, that's when it should be. Oh, Bill didn't get
Yeah.
it. Eli didn't get it, and with Bill and Eli getting leaks that they didn't make it. I mean, if I feel if Eli Manning's name was Eli Johnson, wouldn't even be a discussion. He had his career record. He's 117 and 117. He he led the league in a passing statistic 4 times. It was interceptions. Out of all the years that Eli Manning played, and made I think he made the playoffs 6 times. Two of those times they won a playoff game. Now those 2 times they ended up winning the Super Bowl, and those are probably the two best Super Bowl wins ever. Beating the undefeated Patriots and then a 9-7 team
Hmm.
going to be raiding the Patriots again. That's just for the pushback, and I think it's a big discussion because of his name. Like, I'm not saying Eli was a bum by any means, but would you put him in the Hall of Fame?
He is like the most borderline guy, I think, like out of every sport. Okay, so do you know what the Mendoza line is?
No.
Okay, so the Mendoza line in baseball is the batting average of 200,
Mhm.
right? You're either above or below the Mendoza line. And so I feel like Eli Manning is like that's like Eli Manning for the Hall of Fame. It's like, are you above or below it? And like, I feel like if the Hall of Fame is a physical place, but like if you had all the Hall of Famers in a building, Eli Manning would be like the security guard, and he would be like checking the IDs to see if you can get in or not. Because it's like, dude, you can put him in or you can't put him in. It's like literally 50-50 for me. Because he's got the stats, the record is like fucking that's like baseball pitchers, dude.
Right.
I hate record for I mean because there's literally like one half of the ball that the quarterback has nothing to
Right.
do with.
Right.
Oh, well, you lost 40-0. It's not your fault. Your defense sucks. Or, 49-42, your defense sucks, right?
Right.
Or what? So he is so like I can't get mad that he's not in, but I can't get mad if he gets in either. It's like it's literally like a
Mhm.
straight up toss up.
I think eventually he'll get in because the senior. I think your eligibility, and I don't know how long it is in baseball, but so you have to wait 60. If I remember correctly, you got to wait 6 years after you retire, and then I think it's 20 years. You have 20 years after that, and I
For
think
baseball or football?
for football.
Football, they just changed the rule to a year after you're retired.
When?
That's why they just did it. I just heard it like on the radio the other day. Double check me, fact check me, dude. Because that's I know Belichick's been away from the game for a little bit, but that's why he was up for it already because they only allow a year now. Like you don't
How
need to.
long do you have to wait to be nominated for the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Because I could have sworn it was 6. Uh, m- okay, it says modern era players must be retired for at least 5 consecutive seasons.
'Cause
Uh,
what did I help? I thought they changed it.
coaches, coaches, however, only need to be out of the game for 1 season.
Okay, that's
That's
where I
what it
heard it.
says.
All
Yeah,
right. So I was a little off,
yeah,
but
but
a little off, but a little on this. I was Eli Manning. I was a little off the track, but I was kind of on the track.
right.
So,
I
but
think
yeah, man,
I
he's
think
like,
eventually Manning gets in because it's like in 15 years he'll hit the I think in 15 years he'll hit like the senior committee like for how I think the senior committee guys this year were like L.C. Greenwood, Roger Craig, Ken Anderson.
okay, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through a couple quarterbacks, and you tell me if they're in. Then Tony Romo.
No,
Philip Rivers,
no,
Matt Ryan,
no,
um, Jay Cutler.
no. Absolutely, he doesn't care enough to be.
Um, I'm trying to think of some more in that era because if you would have said yes to any of them, then you got to put Eli in.
Right. And once again,
Because Eli's got more accolades in it. But yeah, it's like do you take two of the greatest Super Bowl wins ever? Like that's saying something, you
right.
know. That's why it's like, but like his seasonal statistics and stuff. Like you said, he led the league 4 times in interceptions.
And that's the only
Uh,
stat he ever led the league in. Didn't lead it in yards. Didn't lead it in touchdowns. It was interceptions.
yeah, yeah. So it's literally like a toss up.
Hmm.
Um, it they should start calling that the Eli Manning line. Like if you're above it, you're in. If you're below it, you're out.
And you can't say the Manning line
Right,
because Peyton moonwalked in when his time was up.
right.
Uh huh.
The Eli line,
The
the E
Eli,
line, the Eli Manning.
the
Yep.
E line was awesome. But yeah, dude, like, and there's gonna be a lot of guys coming up in the near future and I feel like too, with the with like the era that you grew up watching football, like a lot of your casual fans are like, guys around people around my age is like, oh, I remember, them. They were a beast, but it's like, are they in the hall?
Yeah.
Great example. Frank Gore played forever, and I think he's third all time in rushing. Is Frank Gore in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think he should
I
be,
I'd put him
but he
in,
will.
but it's
He will get in. But like to me, like okay, longevity does say something, but it's like also like okay, are you just an average player that just plays a long time?
yeah.
Like are you right above that cut line where you can play in the NFL, but like are you ever the best in your era? That's
Hmm.
like if you're a top 3 player or maybe a top 5 player in your era, like then you should get in at your position. But like otherwise, it needs to be an elite class.
I 100% agree. And when one of the Hall of Fame voters that didn't vote for Bill, that's what he came out and said, because I think for that category of Hall of Fame, you have your senior guys, your I think the term is like ambassador of the game or whatever, and that's where it was Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and then your three senior guys, and you get out of those five, you vote for three, and that's where
Hmm.
he voted for the senior guys because it's like their last year, and it's like, well, if you didn't get in the first 20 fucking years, maybe you're
Yeah.
not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Like
Yeah, I agree.
Roger Craig was a beast, for the Niners before I was born. But
Mhm.
if you're just if you're borderlining for 20, then maybe you're just not a Hall of Famer, and it's okay because if you put in these guys because it would mean so much for their family, you're taking some mystique away from the Hall, and that's the
Right.
last thing I
Absolutely.
want.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be, the great and elite players, not the very good players. There, like I said, man, like Eli Manning should be the benchmark. Like if you're above Eli, you're good. If you're below Eli, you're not good. And Eli should just get like a security badge.
You need to make the Hall of very good.
Yes. Is there anything else? What else do we have to talk about? We have about 10 minutes.
I mean,
I'm I'm
go ahead.
tired. I'm tired. I'm just want to take a nap again, but I think what was it? There was something the casino. What happened at the casino? Tell me about the casino.
So last night, my boy picks me up, and I live about 30. Well, I don't live. I'm currently like 30 minutes away from the casino, and so he was like, "We better go. We better go to the casino." We stopped by a sports bar, had some amazing wings, and we're chilling. And then it's like, "All right, time to go be zillionaires." And so we pull in, we park, we walk all downstairs. Not a single blackjack table's open. And I'm like, fucking marvelous. So we go upstairs to test our luck, and we're walking around, and there's a table open, and there's nobody sitting there, and it's Spanish blackjack. And so we're like, okay, can we get the rules to Spanish blackjack? Because it's not. I bet it's not that much different than regular. And I s- I start out with $100, and I go and I sit down, and me and my boy we're fucking raking it in the first like 40 minutes. I think I'm up from like 100 to 350. Just slowly playing it, not playing too aggressive, not playing too just nice, chilling, relaxing. And then this fucking other dude comes up and sits down, and I immediately fucking cool off. Immediately. Sits down, fucks up my table. Another dude comes up, sits right next to me, fucks up the table. And then after the one dude left, my okay, three people at the table. Some girl walks up and sits down. I'm like, oh, I kind of fucked up the juju. So I was up to 350, lost all that shit. Went to go fuck because I'm like, casino's not gonna get the best of me. You know, like everybody. I
You know,
went
I'm not taking my business.
right. I withdrew. I went back. I played some more. Got my shit whomped. So I'm thinking about. It. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take out another $100. This is gonna be it. So I went to the free bet blackjack table where and I don't know if you know like what the free bet blackjack table like they're like special rules and stuff are, but
Yeah,
your double downs are free. Which means if you like your two cards, you can hit for one more card, but you can't hit anymore. But you have to you pay double your hand. But at the free bet, they pay your free for you.
what's the catch?
There is none. Oh, the I guess the catch is the minimum is higher. So minimal it's $50 hands, and you also get free splits. So like if you want to split, that's also free too. But once again, it's a higher minimum. Um, and I fucking buddy behind me's he's like, I don't know why I fucking did this. He was like, go all in. So I'm like, you know what? $100 hand, and I win. And I should have walked up and got the fuck away. Nope, I stayed, and I had throughout the entire night. I probably had 15 hands that I had 18 or higher and lost on, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. But yeah, so they want my shit, and and as we're walking back to the car, I said, I better not pass a fucking blackjack table because I got the itch. And he was like, well, we're about to walk past a bunch. And I'm like, I'm gonna restrain myself. I'm already down. Listen, from someone who is in a couple gambling groups, and our favorite saying is, you can either get even or even worse. I took it as I'm fucking down. And once again, when we're walking back, because when I was first up like 350, and I was like, man, I was up 350. My buddy was like, I was up 150. We should have just fucking left.
Yep.
But you live and you learn.
Yeah, you should have left, man. You always leave when you're ahead.
When
That's
you're
the moral of the story.
when you tripled what you brought, what you were initially willing to bring in, walk away.
Yeah, you got so what you need to do is you need to get like a number in your head. I'd be like, okay, if I hit this number, I'm leaving with this. But
Yeah.
like say, with the 350, what I would have done, well, I'm not gonna lie, it probably would have happened to me too. I would have probably spent it all together. But you put the 300 in your pocket, you play with the 50, and try to build that. Maybe put 200 back in your pocket. Maybe even put just your 100 back in your pocket.
So you're playing
At
with
least you didn't.
profit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm a degenerate.
Yeah, and it takes money to make money, so you
100%.
keep,
Yeah.
like it's like maybe you don't maybe 50 is not enough to rally some more.
Yeah.
um
But
but
it is what it is.
Yeah, so I miss playing blackjack. I can't wait to have some more income coming in so I can start playing blackjack
I was about
again.
to say, when's the last time
Yeah.
you went to the casino?
I think last year.
Mm.
Last year I went a couple times. We went to one when we went to Kentucky to visit my aunt. We went to Indiana to play at one casino and I won like $300. That was
Do
nice.
you, do you
Uh,
have a specific game you like or no?
I play blackjack. That's like all I
Yeah,
play. I'll play slots once in a while just for the hell of it. Um, but I'll stick to blackjack for the majority, 90% of it.
I'll give you a story real
Um,
quick. So, not this time, but the last time I was here in November, we went to the casino, right? And we got fucking flushed out immediately. Like there was almost no ups. We just got ran through immediately. One of his friends was one of my buddy's friends, she was like just out, just in the area. And he said, "Oh, you should pull up, whatever." She doesn't know how to play blackjack. She takes out $100 and we're like, okay, we'll walk you to just a normal blackjack, whatever. And this nice lady, I was about to say this bitch, this nice lady starts with 100, builds her shit up to like 400. She's like, okay, guys, I think I'm done. And we're like, why didn't you get her to come when we first got here? And then so we're walking to cash her out after she has her voucher. She's like, I've always wanted to do a max spin on the slots. And I'm like, well, there's a fucking gazillion slots. Pick one.
mhm.
And so she finds whatever one she like, and it's like devil themed and all that jazz. And we're like, okay, just insert whatever, and so she does a $30 spin. This bitch hits it for like 600. And so we're like, I'm looking at him and I'm like, you really couldn't tell her to pull up when we were pulling up? Like, are we dead ass? So she turned her like $100 that she fucking walked in with for fucking like almost 1,000, and meanwhile we're sitting here with the I eat ass face, like I can't believe this just happened to me.
Yeah, one, it sucks if you lose like 2 to 300 like in like 15 minutes. Um,
Yeah,
Second, there was one time where I went and I'm playing blackjack and I'm up a little bit, and the dealer tells me to put a chip on the perfect pair,
yeah.
and I never really play those, and so I'm like, really? I haven't been playing it the whole time. She's like, just trust me. So I put it on the perfect pair. I get it 25 to 1. I win $625. And I was like, how the fuck did you know that? And she's like, when a dealer tells you to do something, just do it. And I'm like, okay. So she just sensed it, I guess. I
It's
got I got like
amazing.
two kings matched to a 25 to 1 on a $25 bet. So it
That's
was nice.
awesome.
But anyway, thank you for joining us here on this Monday at the Legends Clubhouse. We have shows Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Um, Check us out over on newleafnews.com/network. Both of them take you to the same great site. We have daily content, whether it's sports, entertainment, horoscopes, murder shit, whatever. We got, you name it, we got it over there. Go check us out on our 5 platforms of social media, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, or X. Go check us out at New Leaf News. I'm at Bobby Kaboose on Instagram and X. That is at Lawson_1226. Hey,
Mhm.
this Saturday, if you like wrestling, check out the 64-bit Legends Rumble. It will be live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Melvin Troy. We will be live probably around 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So check us out. It'll be definitely entertaining. See who wins this Rumble. And other than that, Lawson, if you want to take us out, I'm good to go.
Or New Leaf News and the Legends Clubhouse. I'm Lawson Turner, and that right there, from my camera, his camera, and into his room, being guarded by Michelangelo, is Bobby Caboose. We will see you beautiful people Wednesday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, we hope you enjoy your manic Monday, and we hope you enjoyed your weekend. And let us know in the comments below what you think of the Rumble. Who did you want to win, and what are your thoughts on the entire card fight? We'll see you guys Wednesday afternoon. Until next time, peace.